I'm going to talk about where all the controls on Honda ATVs are. This is a Rancher model. That means it's got a smaller motor than a Foreman. This model also does not have a front locker. We'll talk about that in a subsequent video on lockers. Next thing we'll talk about are the brakes. There are two brakes on this quad. There are front brakes and rear brakes. The right brake lever, this one, controls your front brakes. The left brake lever, this one, controls your back brakes. This pedal here on the right hand side also controls your back brakes. The next thing we're going to talk about is the throttle. This is your throttle. It increases engine RPM by giving the engine more air, which in turn lets it use more fuel. In the middle, you have your key, on and off. This button here cycles through your display, so it shows things like your engine temperature, your kilometers, how long since the last service. This here is the winch controller. This is an older style. Some of the newer ones look different. Over here we have our start button, our kill switch. The way this works is if you push it either direction away from the center, then the engine will not run. It interrupts the spark. Have our high beams and our lights. This is our park and brake / reverse. The way it works is there's a little latch mechanism. So if I want to go into reverse, I have to pull in on it and then squeeze the brake lever, which pulls a cable. If I want to use it as a parking brake, I pull in on it, and then it's kind of hard to do one-handed, but it drops into a notch there and holds the brake on. Down here we have our shifter. It clicks up to add gears and down to drop gears or get into neutral. And lastly, we have our four-wheel drive selector. If it's in the front, it's in four-wheel drive. If it's in the rear, it's in two-wheel drive. Lastly, we have the pull start. It's located on the right side of the quad, right here. Storage space on the back of the quad. You undo this little clasp and a lunch box opens. Normally there's a bunch of ribbon in there. The seat is removable. To remove the seat, you're going to reach into this hole and there's a clasp mechanism that you'll pull up on. It's this little plastic piece here that you're going to be squeezing. Once you have that off, you can get this black plastic piece, which just pops up and slides forward. And underneath there, then you have your toolkit and you have your batteries as well. Well, your battery. Up front here, you've got a cover. This is where your radiator is and where your coolant reservoir is as well. Here is your fuel tank. This is where you put your fuel in. Just unleaded gas, no mix, just straight gas. In the left passenger footwell, there's this plastic piece with an oil indicator. If you pop that open, this is your oil dipstick. It just unscrews. On the front of the quad, there's a winch. It's got a hook. These are the winch rollers that allow the cable to roll evenly. If you come not to that side, to the right side, you'll see this red thing. This red thing is your winch clutch. If you rotate it, you can put the winch into free spool. That means that you can pull cable out freely, which means that you can pull cable out quicker without warming up your winch excessively. To re-engage it so it'll pull cable, you have to turn that thing back into the correct position. If your cable's under tension, you will not be able to turn that clutch mechanism because there's too much tension on it.